Hello everybody and welcome to the Selkares Wargaming channel for this new 3v3 game on Wargame Island Battle. It's a 3v3 on Scavenger with the Conquest mode, of course, 1,200 points to reach. We've got on the packed side 3 Steel Balalaika players, Shade, or Poxo Tojo, and UB Van Lik. Sorry for the pronunciation, guys, but you've sometimes got some weird nicknames. On the NATO side, we've got 1 BPT player, FR Niwo, and 2 LVA players, Doxa and Elmo. So, once again, I'm going to look at the different units they've got and try to find out what kind of decks. I think Niwo has a German deck. He's got a lot of German troops with the Fuchs, the M113A1G, Leopard 2A1, Leopard 2A4, of course, a bit of Mordor Roland 2, a bit of Flak Panzer Gepard A1, and a German commander, another one just right here. So I believe Niwo is going with a basic, well, quite a balanced force, but with a German-only national deck. Elmo is the same thing. He's got exclusively, he's got only American units, Ontos, Hawk, Avenger, Humvee, and then infantry in M35 transports and M15 1A1 command vehicle. So an American only deck for Elmo. Doxa is a bit different here. He's got a bit of well, Canadian, British, French, German, American, a bit of everything. So he's got a mixed NATO deck with a double start, one on going for Charlie and one going for Echo. He's got 2 commanders, one here and one over there. Yeah, I already played a few seconds, as you can see here. 40-minute game. I was wondering why this commander was already there, but it's because I already played a bit of the game. So back on the composition over here, some anti-air with the track rapier FSA, which is the radar anti-air. Leopard 2A1, Abrams, so quite a few heavy tanks here, which is quite logical. He's going for the open area over here. On the packed side, we've got the 3 players, one starting over here. We've got UB, I'm going to call him UB over here, going for the 3 sectors here. One commander with rifle and anti-air infantry, rifle, anti-air and ATGM infantry over here, and rifle and anti-air infantry with anti-air vehicles on the right side here, and another commander over here. Shade, no, Poxo, sorry, is the one controlling the sector. UB over here has only USSR units, so basically a USSR deck, I believe. On the left side, we've got Shade with USSR units over here, USSR over here, German over here, so he's got a mixed deck, and Poxo has apparently Polish, and Polish units. So it's basically Polish, USSR, and mixed NATO decks against German, American, and mixed NATO. So packed decks over there, sorry, and NATO decks over here. Here we go for the 3v3 on Scavenger, 1,200 points, victory points, and 40 minutes to go. So quite a classic start for the NATO players, going for Bravo, Charlie, Echo and Delta with ground forces. A different start for the packed players, very aggressive start. We can see the F4F ice coming in here to open up the NATO offensive by covering the ground forces. And on the other side, we've got a lot of helicopters, some anti-air helicopters with the Polish Sokol, very good helicopters with the Igla missile. And behind, attack and transport choppers with the 24D and the attack ones with the 24W. And some planes coming in on the left side here with 2 napalm bombs over here and 1 anti-air plane with the MiG-23P. And it's well, a very aggressive start for the packed players. The first missile goes for the Delphin. Delphin isn't killed but loses 5 HPs. The F4 Ice gets out of the fighting area just in time, and the Delphin gets slaughtered by the Flak Panzer Gepard that is stunned by the crash of the plane. One more Delphin coming in, shooting napalm just behind the main forces, and 1 cluster, well, the explosive bombs killing the Flak Panzer over here. No more anti-air on this side of the map for the German player. It's not the German player, but it's got a German deck. Its forces have been divided. We've got the infantry on the right side here, slaughtered by the rockets of the helicopters, and here the commander has just been destroyed by a cluster bomb from a Polish player, I think. But all in all, it's a very bad start for the NATO players and a very aggressive start by the packed ones. Every single unit has been destroyed over here, and the packed players are just charging into the Foxtrot area. Charging probably a bit too fast. They are going into their own napalm, and a very nice shot by the last two here just stops the squads in the napalm and killing a few units over there. The German planes are coming, the Russian planes, sorry, are coming in and are getting slaughtered right now by the NATO Air Force. The F-14 Tomcat are just slaughtering the planes. So nice, very big offensive from the pack players here, killing one commander on Delta and pursuing another one here. He is being shot at by the enemy transport, the SPW-60PB. And this commander probably won't make it, only 1 HP left. He is getting out of it, maybe not. One helicopter coming in to help him, but the commander is killed. And that's a big loss for the NATO players. NATO players who started with more commanders, taking control of these 3 sectors, giving them a few points at the start of the game. But the loss of Delta and especially Foxtrot pull them back, and the pack players come back in front and have +3 points every 4 seconds, and they are catching back the NATO players. So very aggressive start for the packed players here. Unfortunately, they don't have a lot of troops left, but for now they have done a tremendous job of just destroying the entire left flank of the NATO forces. Back on the right side, well, the defense on Bravo is still holding, a lot of units amassed over here. Same thing over there for the packed players. Some NATO troops have made their way right into Juliet, which is quite nice. They are being shot at by the enemy planes, but they stopped just when they had to, and the cluster bombs totally missed their bombing run. And for now, well, the NATO players are just slaughtered on the left side, but have managed to take position in the middle over here. That may allow them to come back later in the game, but it's gonna be pretty hard. And some of Dobgza's units that came right through Echo are right into Delta and may help further on. We're gonna see that if they manage to survive the next offensive here with the SPW-60PB. Infantry coming in over here. They are trying to kill the commander. One Leopard destroyed, 1 Abrams left, and probably killed by the Mi-24V here. No, it's the Su-22M3, the Polish ground attack plane that kills the last tank. And the little offensive of the NATO players here has been totally stopped by the packed helicopters and planes. So for now, huge advantage for packed players. They are now at 165 points to 93. It's gonna be a really tough game for the NATO players starting from now. Helicopters still coming in, trying to attack. Transports coming in, the Dornier maybe shooting, deal some damage, but well, they aren't really attack choppers, are they, with 0.5 HE power, which is pretty ridiculous. A Cobra is there, so he is going to do a bit more damage with his rockets and his Vulcan, which has 2 AP, which is much better. Killing a lot of transports over here, stopping the packed offensive. Mordor coming in, the Skyhawk coming in also with its rockets. Yeah, they are coming in to take everything out. Su-22M3 coming in to take out the OHFTCS, but the Tomcat planes are coming in to take out the Polish plane, and here we go, Polish plane totally destroyed by the Tomcats. And one Skyhawk just over the packed forces, nothing really happening. The packed players have taken a huge advantage in this game. Ooh, 2 new missiles going out. Ooh, hitting the plane, but it just evacuated in time. Yeah, the packed players have done a tremendous job attacking on this side, and one more plane is going to go down, I believe. Here we go. But it looks like they are losing plane after plane after plane, and there isn't a lot of anti-air. Look at that, the Tomcats are nearly above the packed forces, and they aren't being shot at by ground forces. Of course, the Mi-31 is a good counter, and 1 Tomcat is down, but look at the Starfighter over here. It's just above the packed base, and there is nothing shooting at it. It looks like the packed players have forgotten a bit their anti-air cover, and that means for now that the NATO players are able to, even if they lost a lot of ground, they are able to kill enough packed units to avoid a big defense on Foxtrot and harass a bit this area also. And I've got a little doubt here. No, they don't see the commander, but they maybe saw it earlier with the tanks over there. So it looks like the A6A intruder is coming in directly for the commander, and if he takes it out, it's going to be a good point for the NATO players. Here we go with the bombing. The bombs are coming in, and the jeep is totally slaughtered. The plane is just evacuated in time, luckily. The commander is slaughtered, and that allows the NATO players to come back into the game. No more tickets for either teams. 375 points to 93. For now, it's pretty a nice packed advantage, but honestly, NATO players are doing quite well, even considering the disastrous start they had. They have killed a lot of units, and the lack of anti-air on the packed side allows their planes to just come in, kill units, and come back right after without taking some damage. And the NATO players on their side have anti-air even in the packed lines and just kill helicopters while they come in with the tracked Drapier over here. One more starfighter coming in and shooting at the helicopters over here. One commander coming in. If this guy takes Foxtrot, it's going to be a very hard thing to counter for the NATO players. Reinforcements are going to come right from here. It's going to be pretty tough. Hopefully these planes, the F4Fis, the SK-60B or the starfighter, will be able to take out the commander. One helicopter is being shot at, being killed. The F4F kills, and one bomb coming in here. The commander is slaughtered, has been killed by the SKS-60B, which has a quite unusual weapon. It's a air-to-ground missile, but not an AP one. It's a HE missile, and it's really nice. 15 HE, it's quite impressive. And once again, the lack of anti-air on the packed side is really what is pulling them back. They did a superb start, but they didn't consolidate these areas, and they are now just getting hammered by the superior NATO Air Force. Every single helicopter, one more helicopter getting targeted here, only 1 HP left. Every single helicopter is getting slaughtered by the NATO anti-air, and more OH-50CS are coming in to slaughter the last helicopters, and it looks like nothing on the packed side will be able to stop these helicopters. The planes are just attacking and not even evacuating after that. They are attacking, turning around, re-attacking. That really shows how much the anti-air is lacking on the packed side. One helicopter down over here, one other killed over here, and we've got 3 OH left, one with no more missiles going back to the base, and the so-called is pulling back, no more rockets and no more missiles. One more MIAT is killed, and the packed forces are pretty thin right now. It's a really bad position for the packed forces right now. They are still in the lead in the race for victory points, but honestly, in terms of map control, I'd give a little advantage for the NATO players. They managed. Well, they probably are on the brink of recapturing Foxtrot here, and the packed players can't send in reinforcement. The NATO players have a very big advantage of having sent units into Juliet and blocking basically what is the only route from India to the left side of the map. They are blocking the only route that could help the packed players send in reinforcements over there. Right now the reinforcements are blocked by these forces. Quite a nice combination here. Some infantry with the Jaegers in the forest, just basic infantry. Some anti-air with the AMX-30 Roland. And one heavy tank with the M1A1 Abrams, which will be able to hold the line if they don't send in enough planes or big tanks. So this will stop the reinforcements long enough probably for the NATO players to recapture this area. We've got some anti-air, some infantry, and some just basic transports and recoilless rifle units over here, and the planes and the helicopters and the ground forces now are coming in and killing everything the pact has left on the left side over here. The last infantry units over here have been killed, and the NATO players will be able to recapture this area. These guys are still present, of course, but they won't be able to kill the commander if one is sent back over there. And speaking of commanders, we have 3 of them coming in. 1, 2, 3. Probably for Juliet, Delta, and Foxtrot. They have amassed quite a nice amount of money. Well, actually, it's 1 commander for each player, and they are going for Juliet, Delta, Foxtrot. Juliet is maybe a bit well, it's a bit risky to send a commander over there right now. If they just recapture Delta and Foxtrot, they'll have a +9 point advantage, which is really nice. One more MiG-21 bis killing a helicopter, but just getting targeted by the Tomcat. Will it get killed? And yeah, the Tomcat kills the MiG-21 bis, and Once again, the NATO Air Force shows it is superior in this game and just killing plane after plane that the Pact forces are sending in. Still, this nice little force present over here is holding the road, and the Pact forces that can't do much right now. If they had a command helicopter, they could have sent it over there and restart attacking over here. The NATO forces aren't strong enough right now to hold the line, but without any Pact reinforcements, it's going to be really a walk in the park to retake these areas. There's nothing here to contest the Jaeger's position, the Marder VTS-1s, and the commander is going to come in really without any danger and just cap the sector really easily. Oh yeah, and the commander that was sent over there apparently just turned back and is coming in over here. He probably realized sending it into Juliet was a bit too risky and a bit too, well, was taking a lot of chances. Pact players realizing their reinforcement route is totally cut and they are sending in planes, infantry. Unfortunately for them, the Jaegers and the Abrams are still holding. Cluster bombs coming in, killing only 2 HPs on the Abrams. This tank is quite strong with 4 armor on the top, so it's pretty hard to kill it. The new Swedish plane is shot down by the at last anti-air. It looks like, well, I didn't really say it, but there were a lot of anti-air units on the right side at the start of the game. It looks like they spent all the anti-air over there and didn't really think about putting some over here, so the entire left side of the map was open for NATO Air Force, and they didn't. Well, once they realized that, it just didn't stop sending planes, and they just retook the area. We now have Delta and Foxtrot recaptured by the NATO forces, having a nice +9. They are still behind in terms of points, but only by 200 points, and it's going to be pretty quick for them to recapture, to regain the difference here. And I don't really see the Pact players coming back into this game. They are still in the lead, but they are going to lose it really quickly. And Dobksai is sending in more reinforcements, and once again a Pact plane coming in and totally killed by the NATO Air Force. The Pact planes have just been sacrificed quite a lot, and hopefully this time the NATO plane is killed by the Pact anti-air, but well, it looks like they still have some planes, but probably not enough. A couple of cluster bombs here, 1 anti-airplane here with the MiG-31. Not sure it's going to be enough to kill everything. The F4 ICE is missed by the MiG-31. Will it finally kill it? Let's see. Little dogfight here, guys. And it looks like the MiG-31 isn't able to turn enough to shoot at the at the F4 ICE. And here we go, finally killed, crashing on the island over here. Pretty nice dogfights. So yeah, for now, well, the NATO player has just pulled back, taking a couple of hits, but recapping the area. Looks like this commander was killed also by a bombing run, but another commander is available and recapping the sector. And for now, well, the only thing standing between the NATO players and capturing Lima, oh, it's artillery, yeah, here we go. That's what killed the first commander, I believe. The only thing standing between NATO and capturing Lima and the entire left side is a few infantry squads in the buildings, and that's going to take a little time to kill, but they won't stop the NATO offensive, and no reinforcements can be sent on the left side as this area is still controlled. Yeah, more or less. We still have some NATO units in the area, preventing a free flow of Pact reinforcements. And I think I missed something. It looks like the Pact have lost the Kilo sector, giving it a little +12 for the NATO players. They lost the commander. Not sure how that happened. Probably an airstrike. I don't believe they've got artillery units on the NATO side. No, it's only ground unit, but no artillery units. I believe it's probably a plane that killed the commander. And well, that's another hard blow for the Pact players. Are they sending in a new commander? Yeah, one new commander coming in, but still plus 12. They have reached the half mark over here, 600 points out of 1200, so that's the half. And IE6 intruders are coming in and just slaughtering the infantry in the buildings here, razing to the ground every single building and every single infantry squad in them. Yeah, it's just a matter of time that it's just gonna take a few minutes for NATO players to clean every little sector here and start attacking Lima. And by then, well, the Pact players will have already lost. I believe I don't see them coming back. They don't have the forces to come back in the game. They are still sending in helicopters, even if they are lacking. Well, now it's a bit better. They've got some anti-air coming in, so they can send in helicopters and cover them with anti-air to defend them against airplanes. But honestly, I don't see them really capturing zones with helicopters, so it's pretty much GG at this point. Once again, another squad destroyed over here, and only a few of them left in Delta. And more reinforcements coming in through Charlie into Juliet, so Pact players are just going to defend themselves in this area until the countdown has reached 1200 points, sorry, and nothing looks... well, nothing really can be done by the Pact players. They're sending some napalm on an area where there is no enemy forces. 70% points for the NATO players, and one player surrenders and the entire team leaves. 800, nearly 900 points to 375, something like that. And quite a nice game. Very nice offensive by the still Balalaika team. Unfortunately, I'd have to say that their offensive wasn't turned into a nice victory condition. They didn't capture the areas. They didn't defend them enough to push back the counterattack, and they sacrificed too many helicopters and units to the NATO air force. So that allowed the NATO players to mount a counterattack that was effective with just a couple of infantry squads and some Marder VTS-1s. So I believe that once the attack was successful, they should have defended the area, send in some anti-air, some commanders to capture the zone. They sent in one commander, but they lost it quickly to the air force, to the NATO air force once again. A lack of anti-air, I believe, in this game on the left side for the Pact players. Other than that, really entertaining match. As you can see, the kill loss ratio is in the NATO is for the NATO players, even if it isn't that big. So very nice game. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it, and see you next time.